That was one hell of a movie.
Torment was a good name for this movie.
Yeah, because that's what... Watching it, that's what it was.
I'm Corey. And I'm Josh. And we review Netflix movies.
We rate our movies 4 different ways. In plot,
Character and acting,
general feeling,
and overall rating.
And sometimes we just like to have fun.
Today, we watch Torment.
Corey takes his new wife and young son out to the country to get to know one another, but it quickly turns into a nightmare when his son vanishes. What did you think of this movie, Corey?
I thought it was a huge ripoff of the movie Strangers, and they did a terrible job at this movie, is my honest opinion.
This movie annoys you with how people act.
Yeah.
Just the screaming, the breathing, the crying.
Now, I get there's stupid people in horror movies, okay? I get that.
There's no way that the plot would move forward if people in horror movies are smart.
But these people are zero smart.
Yeah.
Zero.
I mean, at one point in the movie, the woman runs out of the house to go to the car without the keys. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you know, but you lock the car generally. When she runs back into the house to grab the keys, she does this. Like, it takes her 3 minutes to get to the keys. She's sitting right in front of them. And then she runs back out and finds out that, hey, these guys that were really prepared for everything else actually, disabled the car.
I think my biggest issue with this movie is how they lead you into the villains. It's terrible.
Looks like that their house has been taken over by, what is it called when, homeless people come into a house? Squatters. Yeah, squatters is the word I'm looking for. It looks like squatters have lived there. The sheriff, I put it in quotes because the sheriff doesn't last very long. The sheriff says it's just teenagers who party in the house because the house has been abandoned for so long. Mm-hmm. There's no sense of time. This whole movie takes place in a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. I would say, talking about a plot, it's really hard to describe because this movie's all over the place.
And try to map the house out.
Yeah.
That's another thing I had a problem with. It was a really, really weird farmhouse. Should we move on to acting?
Yes, we should.
Catherine Isabel, Robin Dunn, Peter DeChana.
Have you heard of these people?
No.
There's a reason. These guys are not the worst actors of all time, but when it comes to reactions, they overdo it so much that's hard to watch at times.
I don't know who the villains were.
I have no idea.
I don't know how they reacted, but there is a twist at the end that you never really expect.
I guess you call that
I think this is a good movie to watch when you're home alone. The problem is that it's 3 of us here, and we're just making fun of it, because this woman is at one point she's screaming, at one point she's she has to fight to survive, and...
It's not fighting, though.
No, she looks like she's drowning. The man apparently has, lungs,
Steel?
huge lungs, because he can hold his breath forever. I mean, it's a really, really weird movie in it.
You're going to see a lot of stills where literally they're sitting there for 30 seconds, and guess what happens? Nothing.
It doesn't use it to build up. It's supposed to be a horror thriller. Mm-hmm. There's no thriller.
No, not at all.
They use those pan scenes, but they don't show a shadow. They don't show people walking anywhere. There's nothing to build up suspense.
No. You don't understand why these people are killing them.
No,
they explain that they're for family, but it's there's no understanding why there's a family.
I don't understand. I don't know who these people were. It was
terrible.
It was weird. And I really thought this was I thought this would be a better movie to watch if you're home alone and you hear knocking. It'd be scary then.
There's so much things to laugh at because it's over and over. Like Kim was just saying, the flailing of the body is ridiculous. The flailing. Count how many times she touches her mouth. It's ridiculous. And then it's just bad.
There's weird scenes where there'll be some place, and then it'll skip over to the next scene, and then they'll be somewhere else.
Completely
At
different.
one point, she's tied up, breaks out of her bonds, the scene ends, and she appears on the roof.
Yeah. It
And
didn't
then-
show her getting out of the window. The window was closed.
And then in the next scene, it was open for the pig head lady
Right, to come out.
to come out of the window.
So overall, what do you rate and think of this movie completely?
I give it a 2.5 stars out of 5.
I think you're being friendly. I'm giving it a 1.5. The reason being is because if a movie confuses me and I'm laughing through a thriller horror, it's not a good movie for me.
I think, like I said, it'd be better if me and Corey and Kim were not adults. And either like kids or teenagers.
And I think it's also one of those things, if you've seen a million horror movies, you've seen them all, and that's one of these. It's nothing, whoa!
I mean, there
amazing.
were times where we were like, how much do you want to bet that
This
happens?
happens.
And it does. Because it's kind of cookie cutter at this
It's
point.
it's a very cookie cutter, predictable horror movie. If you want to see that, then go ahead and watch Torment.
Yeah, I would say so. It's only an hour 20, so,
There you go.
I mean, it doesn't take much.
I would say watch it with a group of friends who want to make fun of it. Because
Yeah.
it was enjoyable for that fact. That's why I give it a 1.5 star. But if you were sitting alone, you probably wouldn't watch it.
I give it a 2 because I'm looking at it, it's going to be good for somebody.
Yeah. Good
So-
point. Okay. So,
Join us next time. Sorry, were you going to say
Yeah, I was
something?
going to say something.
Sorry, go ahead.
So let us know what you think of Torment. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Tell us what you think there. And join us next time.
When we review another movie on Netflix.
Here we go.
Hopefully not a bad one this time.
Let's hope so. Bye.
See ya.
Nope, it's a scary movie now. Like, here we go. Let's continue with all the antics of Deborah and her being naked.